Ladies, gentlemen, and vault hunters of all ages, there's a ton of cool equipment in this game, and while the strongest gear that you can get isn't always going to be a legendary, there's just something special about that beautiful orange glow that you see when one drops, and the wacky, silly nature of some of the legendary effects just makes them super cool. Today we're going to go over another 10 legendaries in Borderlands 4, some of which are on the list because they are just broken strong for anyone in the game, some because they are particularly strong for specific niche setups, some of them because they're relatively unique in how they function, and I just think that they'd be fun to show and talk about, even if you never really intend to use it for yourself. But regardless, I will explain how to get each one, as nearly every legendary in Borderlands 4 has a dedicated drop source. Pretty much any legendary can drop from pretty much any activity at a very low rate, but every boss has a pool of dedicated drops, which means that they have a set, reasonable drop rate of those items when you defeat them, which gives you a way to target farm what you want, if you know what the target is, and to use the Moxxi's big encore machines. First up then, we're going to start with something incredibly strong. This is a Maliwan legendary shotgun called Kickballer. This thing is really funny when you first find it and fire it. It fires out a big elemental ball when you shoot. It can roll with plenty of different elements due to RNG, so you can get one that specializes in different ways. It is not accurate to where your crosshair is when you shoot it, but it fires out in a sort of upward arc, and it explodes after a big blast when it lands, and then bounces away so it can continue to explode again. It's essentially just a big, funky, bouncing grenade launcher, but the real trick with this one, mine doesn't have it, but it can roll with the Jakobs modifier that makes critical hits ricochet. And the fun part of it with this weapon is that you can hit with the ball, which causes the explosion itself, and then the ball will keep bouncing around, as that's just how the weapon works naturally. But then if you get the ricochet, if you get a crit, it will also spawn a second ball that will also start bouncing around, but this one, because it's a ricochet, will automatically target an enemy, so it guarantees hits them, and this just gets really silly very quickly, and completely trivializes a lot of the content in the game, if that is, the type of thing that you're trying to do. As for how to get this one for yourself, it is a drop from Sludgemaw, whose boss rematch location is right here in the Watershed Gate within the Fade Fields region, which is not unlocked until you've completed the all charged up Outbounders related side quest, but then you can just run the boss on loop until it drops. Second today, we've got a legendary shield called the Onion, and this thing is pretty awesome, honestly. This thing can have some RNG modifiers on it as a bonus, but the big main legendary effect on it is the on armor sec break, grants immunity to damage for 2 seconds. Now this doesn't seem to prevent one-shots from killing you, which is worth mentioning, so if you get absolutely blasted, it won't save you, but if you are taking just constant damage, this thing is fantastic. It basically means with 4 armor segments, you get 8 seconds of immunity total between them, between being fully shielded down to when your shield is fully broken. And because of how armor shields work with the constant regen, you are going to be slowly regenerating a segment during those moments of immunity as well, so you can get your next segments back during this even faster, and so another charge of the immunity when it pops. It's just fantastic for survivability. If you want this one for yourself, it is a dedicated drop from the same boss as the first entry, which is Sludgemaw in the Fade Fields region, who again requires you to complete the all charged up side quest to be able to fight him as part of the Outbounders questline. Third today then, let's talk about Darkbeast. This is a legendary Daedalus submachine gun that deals corrosive damage, and the main legendary effect is that the bullets will pierce enemies, and they also have a 5% chance when they hit an enemy to explode for a pile of damage. Mine here is level 39, so don't compare the actual numbers to my level 50 stuff, but the actual effect is really solid. It may not be quite Kickballer level, but this thing is a very potent general use weapon. If that sounds like something that you want, this one comes from Varaxis, who is the boss of Timid Kyle's Neglected Opening, an auger mine in the coastal Bonefields area of the Fadefield region. Fourth up then, we've got the stopgap legendary Vladof sniper rifle, and this thing is pretty funky, but also definitely has some potential within the right setup. This is a sniper rifle that can spawn with various different elemental types, and the main legendary effect makes it slow down the fire rate the longer you hold the trigger, but also increase the damage a ludicrous amount as this happens. It takes a few bullets to build up, but you can see it go quickly from a relatively fast firing sniper to really slow, but with immense damage per bullet. After all, the one that I'm currently using is level 40, not even a full level 50, but the number is still relatively large because the damage buff, when fully applied, is 750% bonus, so you're doing more than 8 times the damage of the base sniper shot. As for how to get this one, it is a dedicated drop from the Backhive boss, which is the boss of the Claim Auger Mine in the Fadefields region. You can find this right out of the front door of Zadra's backup plan, which is the underground lab fast travel point that you get after the first few story missions. Fifth fifth today, we've got something with a lot of potential in the right setup, which is Slippy. This is a legendary Torgue grenade that is just a literal fish. This can roll with one grenade modifier to boost it, but the main legendary effect has multiple parts. It says that it deals melee damage on detonation, which is true. It is an Ordinance slot that converts the damage to being melee damage. This means it can scale with melee builds, which is very, very cool. But on top of that, when you throw it, it can split into up to 3 fish, and the fish will bounce on the spot multiple times, dealing a pretty solid bit of damage with each bounce. So this is the grenade for melee builds, assuming that you don't want to use the busted Jakobs throwing knives that everyone is thoroughly attached to. If you do want this for yourself, the normal dedicated drop is from Shadow Pelt, who is the boss of the Whistler's Maw Auger Mine side activity in the Cuspid Climb area of the Terminus Range region. But also, if you're watching this within the first couple of days after its upload, it is currently one of the weekly offerings at Maurice's Black Market vending machine, which this week is located on the tallest building of Plungeford in the Fadefields region, right on this spot right here, on a landing at the top of the staircase. Sixth up, let's continue on the grenade drain with Firepot. This is a super unique grenade. Rather than relying on the grenade damage itself, it just shoots out homing Torgue sticky projectiles while it's on the ground. Torgue stickies increase the damage of any explosive hits to the target, so you can use this to just sort of boost your explosive damage that you do through other methods, like splash damage weaponry. It's not the craziest thing out of the box for sure, but it could definitely have some fun niche synergy with a splash damage specific build. As for how to get this for yourself, it is a dedicated drop for Leader Willem. He is a boss in Carcadia Burns that only unlocks after a rather lengthy side quest chain. The first quest to start off the chain is Elect the Electee in Carcadia City itself, and the final quest with the boss itself in it is called the Mole's Gambit. Seventh, then, let's talk about Aegon's Dream. This is a neat one that also has a lot of strength potential in high fire rate abusing setup builds. It is a Vladof assault rifle with the second barrel attachment, meaning that you can flip it up to gain increased fire rate, and it already has a great fire rate as a base, but the real unique part of this weapon that it does not tell you is that the actual second barrel attachment splits the damage between incendiary and cryo. So it's essentially a blisteringly high fire rate assault rifle that does both incendiary and cryo damage at the same time when you have the barrel attachment active. If that sounds like something you want, this one comes from Horus, who is the boss of a very early story mission in the Fadefields, and his Encore machine is located right here on your map and is unlocked after you've defeated him and finished his story quest for the first time. Eighth today, then, we've got the Pacemaker Legendary Rep Kit. For the most part, a lot of people are using their rep kits for offensive gains, but most legendary rep kits are much more for survivability. So this may not help you one-shot bosses, but it is quite unique, with the legendary effect of this one being that it just permanently provides passive health regen, with the amount increasing relative to how injured you are. This can be a really nice tool for survivability and is definitely interesting to have a source of just passive constant health regen, especially if you have just good damage reduction as a stat as well. As for how to get this one, it's pretty easy because it comes from the same boss as the previous entry, Horus, the Spymaster boss in the Fadefields region. Ninth legendary of the day, then, is going to be Onslaught, a legendary Vladof SMG. This thing's main deal is that it has an absolutely incredibly high fire rate and a COV magazine with a very forgiving overheat gauge, which in general just means that you can shoot a ridiculous amount of bullets really quickly and for a fairly long time between taking a break. But where this really comes into its own is if you find ways of increasing the time you can fire it for, because when it spins up to the full fire rate, it's a bit of a monster with builds that scale off of fire rate. That said, the actual legendary effect of the weapon is that all bullets have a 30% chance to not consume ammo and to deal extra damage. The specifics of that is it's 25% extra damage when it procs, and when it says it doesn't consume ammo, it just means that it won't take away from your total ammo count. It doesn't stop you from building up heat when it procs, which is sort of sad, but it still works quite well. It is still a very solid bonus regardless, because first, the damage bonus is nice, but then also at the speed this thing is firing, you would absolutely chew through all of your SMG ammo if you didn't have that 30% chance to not consume it. As for how to get this, it is a dedicated drop from Idolator Saul, the big main story boss of the Fadefields region, who you can fight again through his own Moxxi Encore machine after you finish the mission where you fight him for the first time. Finally, then, we've got a sort of funny one called Frangible. This is a Daedalus SMG, but the main thing going on with it is just a lot of different things. It has a ton of licensed parts at the same time that it does not show on the weapon. Hyperion gun shield when you're aiming down sights. Torgue sticky mines is the actual firing method. It ricochets on crits like a Jakobs. It has the TDR throwing gun explosion when you reload, and even more things on top of that too. But it also lists itself as having 0 damage per bullet fired, and it applies a status that does 0 damage per second. The thing is just wacky as all hell. It doesn't feel all that strong to me, but I'm certain that there is some crazy combination of items and skills that can make it absolutely insane, which is one of the truly beautiful things about a Borderlands game. If something is unique, if it is special, somebody will eventually find a way to break it. That said, if you want this one, you're going to have to get lucky. This is one of the legendaries that, as of this moment, is believed to not have a dedicated drop, meaning the only way that you'll get it is from world drops, which are totally RNG, completely random, regardless of what activity you're doing. So this one is both really weird and really rare. Go figure. That just about does it for today. Then everyone, 10 more really awesome legendaries in Borderlands 4 and how to get them. I hope you've all enjoyed this, and I hope these make your game even more fun to play moving forwards. And if you know about any legendaries that you think the player base should be made more aware of because it's either really strong or even just really fun, feel free to leave it in the comments down below. Like if you liked the video, subscribe with the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time,
I'm the conductor of the poop train!
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.